Joining us now with more on the federal financial fiasco, America's accountant, Dan Geltrude. Dan, thanks so much for being back with us. Great to have you.
Hey, Allison.
Hi, so what's the latest on the federal financial fiasco? I mean, why are they seemingly waiting until the last minute to get anything done? I would hope that the U.S. government would know better than a high schooler waiting until the last minute to get a huge project done. What's going on here?
Well,
Dan?
yeah, look, you're hitting right on this. It's amateur hour down there in Washington, D.C., and we all know what goes on. They're going to play the political games until the last possible minute. Now, look, for the White House to say that there are no negotiations to be had and that it's going to be this way or else, well, you can take that position when you have the votes. If you don't have the votes to pass what you want, then everything is a negotiation because parties need to be heard, and certainly everyone should be heard. But listen, there are certain facts which are undeniable, and those are that we spend too much and we borrow too much as a result. So unless we're going to put our fiscal house in order, which I do not see happening anytime soon, we are going to continue to spend and borrow, or borrow and spend, however you want to look at it, until we get to the point where you just can't do it anymore. And then what happens? Well, no one actually knows, but it won't be good.
Yeah, I think you are certainly right about that. Now, if an agreement is not reached, what do you think real Americans are looking at? I mean, how is this going to potentially impact the economy and financial markets?
So if the unthinkable actually happens, what happens? Well, it's going to be bad because what it means is that the U.S. government can no longer pay its bills. And let's talk about what some of those bills are. We can't pay our military. We can't pay Social Security. We can't pay our debts. So what happens? Okay, well, if you're not paying, people in the military, I guess they can walk away, and therefore you don't have a military. You stop paying people Social Security. So many people rely on that to live, so they no longer can get their necessities like paying their rent, paying their grocery bills, food, clothing, all that stuff. So it's so unthinkable and catastrophic. It's hard to put it into words. Even from the standpoint of even if the U.S. cannot pay its debts, what happens? Well, it's no different than anyone else as an individual. If you don't pay your bills, if you don't pay your loans back, what happens? Well, people are not going to lend you more money, and when they do, it's going to cost a lot more. So even if we default for a short period of time, the impact of that afterwards is still going to be tremendously damaging to all of us, because what does it mean? Everything is going to get a lot more expensive.
Yeah, it's very scary times ahead, and it's just so unfair that the American people are being put in the middle of this and no one's taking any accountability. And meanwhile, another group of workers are protesting for more money. United Airlines pilots are, demanding that they are trying to be exploited of the current economic situation. What's going on with this?
Well, what we have here is that Delta pilots got a significant increase in salary. So you have pilots at the other airlines turning around and saying, look, if they were able to get such a huge increase, over 30% in their annual salaries, then why shouldn't we get the same thing? So they do have a position to take. Now, I don't know about you, Allison, but I don't really want to have pilots being upset when I get on an airplane.
Probably not.
So I think we got to get that resolved. But when we do, what does this mean? Let's think about it.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.